Hello everyone, today I'm here to review a book, and the book I will be reviewing today is Rebel of the Sands by Alwyn Hamilton. I hope I pronounced that right. I probably didn't, but I apologize. In full disclosure, I just want to let you guys know that I was invited by Penguin Teen to complete an honest review of this book. It enters me in a giveaway, so that's just full disclosure. As always, all thoughts and opinions are 100% my own. This review will be spoiler free, by the way. I will mention that so you can watch the whole thing and not want to worry about spoilers. I'm gonna do this book. So if you haven't heard about Rebel of the Sands, first of all, the cover. Is it beautiful? It is beautiful. It feels nice. It's just beautiful. The book is about primarily a girl named Imani. Imani lives in this town called Dustwalk, which is in the middle of the desert. It's just all about, it's basically a nowhere town, and Imani's been in this town her whole life. She's an orphan, she's poor, and she's a female. There's all the bad things to be in Dustwalk, and she dreams of desperately getting out of Dustwalk, and she's also the best sharpshooter in Dustwalk. Like, she is amazing at it. So one day she enters this pistol competition, hoping to earn enough money to make her way out of Dustwalk once and for all, and then she meets this foreigner named Jin, who is also in the competition, and then things happen, and they run off together away from Dustwalk, and things just get crazy. It is an amazing book. I was surprised, honestly, of how much I really liked it, because I just didn't know much about going in this book other than what I told you. I was like, this sounds interesting, a girl trying to get out of town, and then an adventure, you know, but it was much more intriguing and interesting than that, and I really enjoyed it. So like I said, this is about a girl that's stuck in this town, and this definitely has a Arabic culture, if that's right. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, and I'm not offending anybody. If so, I'm extremely sorry. But it's got that, and it's also got a really big, like, country western vibe, and I really found that very interesting. So this whole town of Dustwalk is, yes, it's in the middle of desert, and it's got a lot of Arabic things going on, but it's also like very western, as I said. Like, all of it is just pistols and drinking and horrible things, and it's just very western, and I really enjoyed having that whole those two aspects come together, because it's not every day you read a book kind of like that, where it's got these two different, like, cultures or subcultures coming together and mixing well. I thought that was very interesting. Like I said, Imani and Jin, that is the guy who she escapes with Dustwalk with. Adventures happen, and this book has also a lot of, like, magic in it, like Djinn, is that the right way to say it? Like genies, genies. Pronunciations I'm bad. I apologize immensely for that. But it's got all this magic in it with these different type of ghouls and these jinns and all of these weird, like, folklore things that they've heard about all their lives, and it's coming to life, and it's just insane. I don't want to give too much of this book away, because this book is a real page turner. Like, I found myself very invested in the storyline and the adventure of where it was taking place. Some of it went a little bit too fast for me. Imani and Jin would be on this adventure, and all of a sudden it would just end, and they'd be somewhere different. I was like, wow, that happened extremely fast, and I don't have to reread it, because I was like, how did we get here? It was very fast paced. I'm not saying that's a horrible thing. It just went a little bit too fast for me, that I had to really recap of what I just read to, like, understand how we got to that point in time and how we got to this thing. I will say also, in this whole book, there's an underlying thing of rebellion. It's all about the Sultan and how he wants to build this army and try to decimate things, and so Imani ended up in it, and there's this rebellion prince, and it was very interesting to read about. She gets swept up in this whole thing, and she's not expecting it, that her life to change 100% after she leaves Dustwalk. It was just crazy, but I loved how it had that in there. Character Imani was amazing. She was a kick-butt girl who knows how to shoot, she knows how to take care of herself, she knows how to be tough, she's had to be tough her whole life, really, and I loved her, as well as Jin. Jin's this foreigner who's obviously got a lot more than a few secrets up his sleeve, but the more you read about him, the more you unravel. And of course, there's a romance in it. I do not feel like this had an insta-love at all. I was very in love with the romance. I will say it is not a very predominant part in this book. It's got a nice underlying layer of romance, which are my favorite to read when it comes to fantasy. I love reading the fantasy bit of the books and having a nice little layer of romance underneath. Not being the forefront, but kind of just being a little taste of it, just right under, you know, like a cake. You gotta have layers, am I right? Does cake have layers? It has layers, right? Yeah, you got the frosting and the cake. Overall, I really enjoyed this book. I will say, like I said, it went a little bit too fast-paced for me in some parts, and some of the story, some of the characters and stuff like that were hard to, the names are very hard to comprehend. Of course, it's probably just me and my stupidness, but I had to really try to grasp their names and the stories and stuff like that. Overall, I really like this book, and I think it's going to be a series. I'm pretty sure it has to be a series with the end. The ending was awesome. I did not see that coming with things that happened to characters. Not spoiling, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a page turner, like I said. If I were to give this book a rating, I would give it a 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed it, but there were a couple aspects that I wasn't in love with, like the hard to comprehend kind of character names and some of the stories and a little bit of fast pace. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I think I would recommend you definitely pick this up. It's definitely a quick read. It's only 300 pages if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's like 300 pages. A very quick read when it comes to fantasy, because let's be real, sometimes fantasy books are like 800 pages and you're like, how can I read this? And then you read it all in a day and you're like, what is life? I tore through this book. So you can definitely tear through this book. I did. I read it in like 3 days, which was amazing for me. And I really enjoyed it. So I'm happy I read it, and I'm happy to see where the series goes on and how Imani is going to go with this more adventurous and just awesomeness and the romance and Jin and all these other supporting characters too. I feel like we needed more of in this book. I feel like they were in the end and I wanted more of them. But overall, like I said, I really enjoyed this book. And if you have read this book, please let me know what you thought about it. Let's chat, and talk to you guys later. Please give this video a thumbs up and click subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Take your time with me, and you did it well.